When we think of the richest people to ever live, names like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos come to mind. But what if I told you they wouldn't even crack the top three? Not even close. Today we're uncovering the untouchable fortunes of kings, emperors, and warlords whose wealth was so vast it changed the world. In the 14th century, deep in West Africa, rose a king whose wealth rewrote history, Mansa Musa of the Mali Empire. His palace shimmered with gold, scholars gathered at his feet, and prosperity flowed like the Niger River. But it was his pilgrimage to Mecca that stunned the world. With thousands of followers and camels bearing gold, Musa crossed the Sahara. In Cairo, he gave away so much treasure that the local economy buckled, markets crashed, and gold lost its value. And yet, his generosity echoed through time. Mansa Musa's estimated net worth, up to $600 billion, the richest person in recorded history and a legend etched in gold. In the 11th century, the Song dynasty soared as the most advanced empire on earth. From his palace in Kaifeng, Emperor Shenzong watched his dominion stretch across mountains, deserts, and seas. Silk caravans threaded through the Silk Road like veins of wealth, while ports overflowed with porcelain and tea bound for distant lands. At the empire's core, the imperial treasury pulsed with power. Tax collectors recorded riches with elegant calligraphy, as gold flowed like rivers into the vaults of heaven. Shenzong's economy was an intricate masterpiece of trade, technology, and governance, producing over 25% GDP. By today's standards, that would be worth over $30 trillion. One ruler, one dynasty, a legacy written in ink, silk, and gold. He wasn't born into riches, he forged them in fire. Genghis Khan rose from exile on the Mongolian steppes to command the largest land empire the world has ever seen, from Korea to Eastern Europe. His horsemen moved like lightning, tearing through kingdoms and rewriting borders. While he wore no crown of gold, his grip on the Silk Road meant every treasure of Eurasia passed through his hands. Silk from China, spices from India, silver from Europe. His empire didn't just conquer land, it controlled the veins of civilization. If wealth is measured by dominion, Genghis Khan didn't just rival kings, he redefined power itself. Rome wasn't just an empire, it was the ultimate wealth engine. At its head stood Augustus Caesar, the first emperor, an architect of prosperity. Under his reign, legions marched through triumphal arches, and coins bearing his face spread his image from Britannia to Egypt. But Rome's true strength was its economy. From grain fields and gold mines to slave markets and sea routes, Augustus controlled it all. His system was ruthless, brilliant, and efficient. At its peak, Rome made up 30% of the world's economy, and Augustus personally held nearly a fifth of that. That's over $4.5 trillion in today's money. He didn't just rule, he monetized an empire. And 2,000 years later, his legacy still echoes, in marble, in money, and in the myth of power itself. He didn't strike oil, he refined destiny. John D Rockefeller, a man born to modest beginnings, climbed from a bookkeeper's desk to the helm of the most powerful monopoly America had ever seen. In the late 1800s, the world ran on oil, and Rockefeller owned it. 90% of U.S. oil production and refining, controlled through one name, Standard Oil. It wasn't just about drilling wells, he mastered logistics, pipelines, railroads, refineries. He undercut rivals, absorbed them, and stitched together a machine so vast that it reshaped not just American business, but global capitalism itself. The barrels stacked in his warehouses didn't just hold oil, they held power, political, economic, and industrial. As railroads bent to his will and competitors vanished overnight, Standard Oil became a symbol, feared, admired, unstoppable. His empire stretched from Pennsylvania oil fields to the ports of Asia, and every drop of oil moved through pipes and policies he designed. Rockefeller didn't flaunt gold or ride in golden chariots. His wealth was silent, structured, absolute. His signature on a paper could end a company or fund a nation. Adjusted for inflation and share of GDP, his net worth would tower above modern tech billionaires, upward of $500 billion, dwarfing the peaks of Musk and Bezos. But his legacy extended far beyond riches. He pioneered modern philanthropy, funding universities, science and medicine with the same precision he brought to business. Hospitals, schools, labs, entire institutions still carry his name. Rockefeller wasn't just the richest man of his time, he was the prototype for every billionaire who followed. He built not just a fortune, but a formula. The oil king, the architect of modern capitalism, the man who made money itself industrial. He wasn't born into royalty, but kings knelt for his money. Jakob Fugger, a merchant from Augsburg, rose to become the single most powerful banker Europe had ever known. In the age of empires and exploration, he controlled not just riches, but rulers. In the late 1400s and early 1500s, while Columbus set sail and Michelangelo carved marble, Fugger sat behind ledgers that held Europe's future. He financed the election of emperors, including Charles V, ruler of the Holy Roman Empire. He lent fortunes to the Habsburgs, struck deals with the Vatican, and funded the expansion of Catholicism itself. Popes prayed and paid at the altar of Fugger's gold. But Jakob didn't just move money, he dominated entire industries. He created a monopoly over copper and silver mining, stretching from Austria to Hungary to Spain. His family's merchant fleet moved goods across the continent, and his banks reshaped what finance could be, from early double-entry bookkeeping to pan-European credit networks. By some estimates, Jakob Fugger personally controlled over 2% of Europe's entire GDP, a level of economic influence almost unthinkable today. Adjusted for modern value, his wealth would hover between $400 to $500 billion, placing him above even the richest tech titans of our era. And unlike many nobles of his time, Fugger wasn't a man of titles. He was a man of receipts. He turned accounting into empire building, turning scribbles into dynasties and interest rates into instruments of power. Jakob Fugger wasn't just rich. He was the architect of modern finance, the man behind kings, the mind behind empires, the banker who bought Europe. From emperors who ruled continents to oil tycoons who powered the modern world, these weren't just rich, they rewrote the rules of power. Mansa Musa flooded cities with gold. Rockefeller turned oil into an empire. Augustus, he monetized Rome. Across centuries and continents, these legends didn't just make money, they moved markets, built dynasties, and carved history into stone. So who shocked you the most? Tell us in the comments. We're always digging for the next untold legend. And if you crave wild history, jaw-dropping facts, and power stories with punch, hit that subscribe button and join us every week. Because this is more than history.